So for my project, I decided to work on golf tourism. I'm a sports management major with an event management minor, and I worked the masters this past April. So I'm really more interested in learning more about the golf tourism side of things, and I really think it can relate to our topic so far that we have learned about in class. Golf tourism is trending hugely in the past 5 years. We have seen a significant growth in the industry due to professionals playing, due to the pandemic, due to international and domestic tourism. Golf tourism has been trending huge in the sports and tourism world so far. So, international and domestic tourists. This slide, as we can see here, this is projected consistent growth in the international and domestic golf tourism market. Domestic tourism is where they stay when tourists like to stay in the same country that they are from. International tourists are travelers and tourists that like to visit new countries to see other things. So in terms of this, domestic travel would be, say I live in South Carolina. I want to go play in Augusta, Georgia at the Masters course. That would be considered domestic travel versus international travel, which would happen when I would be from the U.S. obviously, and I would go out to like the Bahamas or something to play around the golf due to the prettiness of the course and stuff like that. So based on this graphic, as you can see, it is from 2020 to 2030. So it's projections based on within a 10-year scale. There are more people that are domestic tourists that prefer to play and stay in their respective country to play golf. However, as we can see, there are also still pretty big rise in international golf travel, especially as we continue to increase in the years to come. I think this has mainly to do with the pandemic being over and the increase of the amount of people that are playing golf and how much they respect the course. COVID-19 was affected everybody in the year of 2020, and we've still had issues in the following years that we have really honestly never gotten back to where we had been to. However, that could be a good thing though, as there has been many processes to where there are new adaptations to safety protocols and stuff like that, to where we can make sure that people are feeling more safe about how their golf experience. Unlike other sports, though, that required that a team, golfers can still play during the pandemic, meaning people wanted to go outside, they wanted to get some fresh air and experience just not being stuck inside. So they got a really great opportunity to increase their golf game. Courses made sure that the equipment was not shared and was so clean that it allowed for more people to get outside and explore the area and as well as play more rounds of golf. The pandemic caused the courses to have to adapt to better safety standards, which still play a part in today's game. Obviously, players were not allowed to travel too far into some of the better courses in the country or even in the world. However, they had a chance to improve not only their game, but even they can help increase their family's game, improve their game. This would be huge because it would also lead to an increase in family golf tourism because families improved enough to want to travel and play different areas and be able to experience this together as a family. As we've learned in the lecture and in class, destination image is an image that is a mental picture that forms in a person's mind when they are thinking of something, or thinking of a destination. Having a chance to see some of the most beautiful courses in the world played by professionals played a huge role in destination image, especially when you have new video games like the PGA game that comes out and you are able to play on every single course. It's obviously not identical to the actual course, but it'll give the tourist an idea or an image in their mind of what to expect at this destination. This will lead to an increase of golf tourism due to people wanting to play on the same course that professionals played on. There are a bunch of courses, especially in Hilton Head, the Arbortown course, that is a PGA Championship course, and that will cause for more people to want to play there and see if they can match up with some of the professionals that are in today's game, as we can see. The age influence plays a huge factor in the golf tourism. Golf has traditionally been dominated by older white males in the past. However, in class we learned that older people tend to dominate the cruise line travel. However, they are still a huge percentage of golfers that are in the industry. The game has been able to grow for people of all ages around the world. I saw this really cool stat where, according to NGF, there is a huge number, around 1 million junior golf players, which mean they're in the range of 6 to 17. Having that means having more juniors play the game. will allow for more family time, and more family time due to parents and grandparents wanting to show some of their kids some of the better courses and teach them how to play. They will travel primarily for the golf course, but not just that too, but to also be around the city area and see what that has to offer, including like food and beverages. You have hospitality, like I said, hotels and Airbnbs that will bring in more money for the economy in that area. So when I was doing this research, I ended up finding this graph from the website NGF, the National Golf Foundation, and it really blew my mind because I generally thought that traditionally male golfers have dominated the sport of golf. As we can see here, over the past couple of years, past 3 years, from 2022 to 2023, there has been an increase of about 350. There's a difference between 350,000 female golfers to male golfers. According to the NFG, white females that are on the course and play are at an all-time high compared to what it has been in the past. Over the past 3 years, there have been more female golfers than male golfers. And this is a very, very interesting graphic that I thought. But then I was thinking and I was doing some more research, and I think it has a huge part to do with the increase of female golfers being broadcasted on TV. During the Masters, they have the Women's Amateur National Championship on there. Therefore, that brings a lot more perspective on how the female golfers play the game of golf. They will be able to see and be inspired by other golfers. Then, if that happens, that will cause female golfers to travel more often. They will be able to spend more money on food and beverage, hospitality taxes, entertainment when they're unable to play at nighttime, obviously, because it is too dark outside. I was just blown away by how the difference, because typically it was traditionally dominated by males. And seeing this increase, this really shows how much the game has grown over the past couple of years. So the role of DMOs in golf tourism plays a huge factor. DMO is a destination marketing organization that plays a huge part. There are a number of major courses that DMOs will recommend playing as they have partnered up with some of the top courses. Some of the DMOs that recommended playing on these courses are like in Hilton Head and Outer Banks, which are both huge travel destinations in North and South Carolina. It has benefited the golf marketing strategy in a very positive way because it brings more golfers to the area. And if it brings more golfers to the area, there's going to be an economic increase of profit throughout the whole area itself. If they bring in more golfers, then they will spend more money on other experiences such as restaurants, hotels, and even nightlife entertainment when they are unable to play golf. I saw this article, and it was about Puerto Rico. They ended up partnering up with a golf course in the more popular one. And it brought in a lot more attention to the golf course, and it ended up letting them making more money because the DMOs partnered up with the golf course in that area. So DMO is an economic leakage. Economic leakage is money from visitors when they leave the destination that they are unable to spend. Having a DMO that is partnered up with a golf course client will help decrease economic leakage because they will recommend going to play at this course, and not only just playing at this course, but they will also help recommend going out to eat at restaurants, where to stay. They will show you more of the area. Their job is to show you the area and recommend what to do. Having a nice course in a nice area allows travelers to spend more money, and they spend more money, it will generate more money for the whole city and help decrease in having an economic leakage. So the impact on food and beverage in golf tourism. Golf tourism will play a huge part in the food and beverage industry. If more people visit the area to play golf, then there will be a huge economic boost for the area in terms of food and beverage, especially the people that are in the area for more than just one night. There will be more money that they can earn, and they obviously tourists have to eat too, so they'll have to go out and spend money. The tourists have to eat somehow, and this will lead to an increase of revenue on food and beverage in the industry. According to a research paper called The Economic Impact of Golf in South Carolina, food and beverage makes up around $119 million only in South Carolina. Around the world, obviously, it is a lot greater than that. Just to show that for one specific state, and out of the 50 states in the United States, $119 million for food and beverage is a lot more than what a lot of people were really thinking. So, there will be a huge increase in jobs. Having more people visit the area will allow for a huge increase of jobs because they will have interest in the area that will lead people wanting to follow their passion and possibly even receive a job in golf. According to the research paper by Dudley Jackson, South Carolina has produced around 38,000 jobs due to golf tourism. This is huge because this is just only in South Carolina. If you were to think about around the whole country, around the whole world, it's a way greater of a number due to that. As we saw on the previous slide, there are about 38,000 jobs generated in South Carolina due to golf tourism. However, if we look at it in terms of the world, you have 1.65 million jobs created because of golf. And then in wages, you have $8.1 billion as well. This is very, very big because it shows how much of an impact golf tourism has over the economy as a whole. So in class, we talked about the income effect. The income effect is the amount of money, how much money a person makes, and how much of that will go to in this case, the golf industry, whether it is a travel or just a play on the course itself. The higher the income has a huge effect on the length of the vacation, as we have learned. If you're bringing in a lot more money, then you are typically going to have a longer vacation than someone that does not bring in as much of an income compared to you. Families tend to spend more money while they're on vacation, just because there's more of them, and they're pretty much instead of paying for one or two people, you have kids as well. You're paying for 4, 5 people. Golf is a very expensive sport compared to other sports, and you need to have a higher income to really be able to enjoy it as much as you really want to. The influence of children is huge. Children can influence golf tourism in many ways. First off, the influence of children, as we learn in class, is the basic attitudes and behavior patterns established in the early years of a family cycle that affect the future activity. As we have seen in the previous slides, there has been an increase in the amount of junior golfers by a landslide, about 1 million golfers in general. Junior golfers play a huge role in this because now it's just not the husband or the wife playing. You're adding your kids in there. And as you see, having children that play or are big fans of golf play a huge factor in whether or not you'll be spending money on golf tourism. Meaning that if you have children playing golf and you have the income to go out and play at different courses or even attend like a PGA or a live golf tournament, you will have money to spend, whether it's traveling on food and beverages, and that money will go, even more money will go to the economy of that certain city. Just to kind of end up wrapping up this presentation that I've made so far, some key points that we really discussed. Well, based on everything that was presented so far, golf tourism really relates to a lot of what we have learned about so far in class this semester. There have been a lot of connections between domestic and international travel, whereas domestic travel, or as like to say in their country, the COVID-19 effect and how that played a huge role on the golf industry, a destination image. We also talked about the age influence and how that plays a huge factor in terms of the economy in golf. We talked about DFOs and their roles and how they help golf courses become more popular and actually help clients play more golf because of that. We talked about economic leakage, where that is how much money the person is leaving and not spending in the city. We talked about food and beverage, and then jobs in South Carolina and around the world. It played a huge factor, in my opinion. The income effect and the influence of children, they play a huge factor as well, because they kind of go hand in hand with each other, as you need to have a pretty high income, and therefore that will help influence your children in terms of the golf industry in a major way. So here are my references for this project that I used. I use a lot of, I ended up using a lot of, I found some articles that were very interesting, and one of my favorite websites that I found that I use is called NGF, which is the National Golf Foundation. And that was very, very helpful to me in terms of helping me find information that I honestly had no idea, especially like economic numbers and numbers like this and that. However, I also used notes from the lectures from Professor Kirkley as well. That played a huge role in helping me be able to finish this project and really learn way more about the golf industry and how it plays a huge role in it, especially in the travel industry.